Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Commotion at Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly complex over alleged attempt to impeach Governor Udom Emmanuel and House Speaker Onofok Luke. Opposition APC denies claim by ruling PDP. House of Representatives to investigate utilization of funds appropriated for the fight against insurgency, as well as the lapses that led to the death of soldiers in Metele, Borno State. Osun State gets new chief executive as Mr. Abeokuta is sworn in as the state's 5th elected governor. And Russia releases statements by 3 captured Ukrainian sailors after being shown on the country's television. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS devices from the respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 apps have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and please follow the instructions. Well, joining me live from the capital, Osun State, talking about Osogbo in Osun State, is a new man on the block, Governor Gboyega Oyetola. Now, it must have been a busy day for you, but congratulations, Governor, on your taking charge of affairs in your state today. How does it feel being the #1 man in a whole state?
Well, thank you very much. I've been very happy. Having won an election since 27th of September, and seeing the kind of crowd that came around to, I would say, celebrate me. I thank God and I thank my party for the confidence they repose in me.
Now, the immediate past governor has done his part and recorded progress in various aspects, the economy, education. But what do you consider the immediate line of action for you now?
Well, first of all, we still need to continue with the laudable programs we've started in the area of education, in the area of health, and social protection programs. But what I think is particularly important now is having done reasonably quite well in infrastructure, the next focus should be on economy. And that's why I'm going to be talking of having an economy summit in the first quarter of our administration. That will eventually talk about job creation, wealth creation, prosperity for our people.
Now, you've also mentioned, yes, if I may, you've mentioned the economy. I mean, you've also mentioned in the past you want to also improve the state's finances by addressing budget shortfalls. And this is, you said, from day one when you get into office, November 27th. But experts believe that the state has huge debts, unfunded liabilities that cannot be resolved in 4 years.
Well, debt is an ongoing thing. The first thing we should be able to be talking about is what was the basis of the debt? Infrastructure development. So it is something that we all celebrate today. So it is something that has to be managed. What is important is for us to now creatively grow the internally generated revenue, IGR. That is the solution to the duty revenue we are getting from the federal allocation. So we're going to be pursuing internet generated revenue aggressively.
Tell us again.
We don't necessarily have to depend entirely on what comes from the federal allocation.
Tell us, Governor, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party is in
court. There's no
court.
within 4 years, but we'll grow it.
Yes, Governor. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party is in court challenging your victory in the governorship election. Are you not concerned that the case could go in any direction?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I'm convinced beyond reasonable doubt that I won the election even from the first ballot. You might want to, it might interest you to know that during the inspection, we discovered that not less than 47,000 votes were regarded as void. And on close analysis, I think from what we have been told, not less than 42,000 of those votes belong to APC. So you can add up the number and see precisely that even in the first ballot, we won.
Governor
I have no
of
problem
Osun
with
State.
the tribunal. I believe in justice. I believe the judiciary will do, the right thing. So the lawyers are handling the case, and I believe in their competence.
Many thanks, Governor of Osun State, Boyega Oyetola, for joining us on the news at 10. Elsewhere, African leaders have been asked to do more to address the challenges of poor leadership, hunger and insecurity if the continent must attain its pride of place as a land of opportunities. This is the challenge thrown by Nigeria's former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, and a former Italian Prime Minister, Romano Prodi, at a special tribute for the late Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Koffi Annan. The two statesmen who spoke at the event in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, also identified transparency in government and sound democracy as preconditions for real growth and development.
The continent continues to be associated with low performance on most indicators in education, health and food and nutrition security, and is noted for poorly developed and maintained infrastructure, poor leadership and governance. This shows that we still have a long way to go to build the Africa we want. We have given others opportunity to say what they are saying or what they have said about us. But we can change the narrative, and we must change the narrative.
Clearly, development is not economics, but politics. And there is a correlation between security and prosperity. And security is a precondition of a long-term economic growth. And there is no possibility of investment in countries that are unstable and violent. What is happening now in the world is a desire of authority and a crisis of democracy.
Let's switch gears now to our Abuja studios, where Linda Akiwe is standing by with more stories. Hello, Linda.
Hello, Millicent. Welcome to Abuja. The Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria has again brought to the fore the need for players in the industry to create new platforms to surmount the challenge of today's digital disruption. The chairman of BON and chairman, Channels Media Group, Mr. John Momo, believes this would not only open up the nation's broadcast space, but also provide the opportunity to raise the bar in content. He was speaking at the 71st General Assembly of BON, holding in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. Meanwhile, the Deputy Governor of the state, who represented Governor Nyesom Wike at the event, asked broadcast organizations to ensure objectivity in the 2019 elections.
It is the 71st General Assembly of the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, and its chairman, John Momo, steps up with the guests for the event. The General Assembly is an opportunity to play up the current challenges in the industry and the potential therein.
The digital age which we're in has led to a massive disruption in each sector of business. And this has brought about a gradual shift in power away from traditional studios and broadcasters towards new and innovative content creators. These content creators, who are now one step closer to their audiences and who now wield greater power in determining what is served up by the media or everywhere. So this is a wake-up call for us all as broadcasters to re-examine our role and discern for ourselves the next step forward.
Coming on the heels of the build-up to the 2019 elections, the Director General, Nigeria Broadcasting Commission, issues what appears to be a stern warning.
For us at NBC, we cannot be responsible for the statements that politicians make. But it is important to remind the broadcasting outfits in Bonn that you would be liable for any violations of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code by the politicians that you broadcast live during political rallies.
But the keynote speaker and the presidential candidate, Abeokuta, is uncomfortable with the tone and the language of the NBC DG.
You actually threatened them with a shutdown. And I'm sitting there wondering, whoa, the representative of the minister, everything about that speech, threat, threat, threat. No, this cannot happen in our democracy. I want to state clearly that any form of illegality must be dealt with. However, anything that appears to be a hanging threat over the media must be refused, rejected, and fought against.
For the Rivers State Deputy Governor, the 2019 elections provides an opportunity for the media to demonstrate its professionalism.
Prompt and accurate reporting of events will go a long way in curbing incidences of election rigging in our nation.
A speech comes after an earlier visit of Bonn delegation to the governor of the state, Nyesom Wike, who had also emphasized the need for Bonn to help ensure that votes count in 2019. Outside, the incoming vice president of Bonn explains the benefits of digitization.
Every nation is migrating from analog to digital. The reason is simple. Spectrum is a finite resource. And because it's a finite resource, technology is evolving. Hence, the use of that spectrum, where in analog situation, where one TV channel uses about 8 megahertz. But in a digital situation, that 8 megahertz will allow 8 to even 16 channels. So the benefit of digital migration for Nigeria is huge.
Expectedly, the 71st General Assembly of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria has thrown up very topical issues, especially at this time when the issues of objective reportage and issues-based campaigns are trending in the build-up to the 2019 elections. But one matter that seems to stick out is the thin line between government regulation and the freedom of the press. Freedom many Nigerians may rely on for truth. Emmanuel Irei, Channels Television News.
When the News at 10 returns, the Treasurer of the World Bank, Aruma Ote, calls for proactive advocacy to drive global competitiveness for Nigeria's markets. That's on Business News. We stay with us.